Dear students, in this video we shall discuss on the singulars and plurals, and these are the words, not just what is there in your grammar, not what we usually speak from our English grammar, but they are the ones which you will be mostly used in your science, especially when it comes to biology or chemistry. So what I thought is, why don't I jot down all such words and make them a list so that they'll be friendly to us and they'll be there for our future references, and through which we'll be able to learn the spellings, through which we will also use the strategies and connect with the other words. So here what we need to understand, or the focus on this video, is that we will be getting to know what is the spelling for the singular word, and based on the spelling, towards the end of the spelling, how are we going to change it to plural? So it is a strategy, or it's a technique that we're going to use, right? So having said this, yes, I have many words which we usually using it in our day-to-day activities, in our day-to-day studies. So I've jotted them. Let's go for it. So here we get to know something called plasmodium. So plasmodium, and the plural of it is plasmodia. What do I mean when I say plasmodium? Look at the spelling. The end of the spelling is um, and that is getting replaced with a. So the rest of the spellings, plasmodia, di, is getting replaced. The um at the end is getting replaced with a. So that becomes a plural. And the same thing, same logic goes for bacterium and bacteria. So the end is and it is getting replaced with a if it has to be plural. Now friends, if that's the case, why don't we use the same technique, the same idea for any other words which have the ending, which have the singulars ending with um? Yes, it's possible. Look at me on the third one, atrium. Um is the ending pair of letters. Now use it to replace them with atria. So let me also do one thing. Yeah, let me color them as well. One second. Yes, I'm there here. I'm there here. You don't need to worry on whether I'm there on the screen or not, right? Yes, this the one. And then let me push this to this side, and so that I'll also be seen together, right? So here, radius. Now another set, what is that? It is radius, so that is us. When it is us, what it will become? It is getting replaced with I, right? And of course such kind of singular and plural words are also there in you, with you, in your own mind dictionary, but they are specific when we were using with English, right? Nucleus. Now us, it is getting replaced with what? I. And then what? Alveolus, the alveoli cells which are in the lungs, right? And they're the ones which are getting ruptured when corona breaks down, gets into the lungs, and so many things are there. Then stimulus, something getting activated, something getting triggered, that's called stimulus. Okay, so it is the us is the end, and that is getting replaced with what? I. So now similarly for us, nucleus got over, and now I'm talking on nucleolus. Again it's the same thing, and it's getting replaced with what? I. So bronchus, again it is us, and it's getting replaced with I. So same thing for Villiers, right? So these are another set of words. So here, what did we understand? When we have in the singular words towards the end, when it is it means it will be getting replaced by a when it becomes plural. Mitochondrium, atrium, like that. So towards end, if it is us, radius, nucleus, nucleolus, stimulus, so on, they are getting replaced with I, radii, nuclei, nucleoli, like this. Next, yeah, same thing. Mitochondrion, ON is getting changed by I again. Epithelium, yes, it is epithelial tissues. Next, So these are such kind of words. And after this, what we have is aerobic and anaerobic. We need to understand such terms. They have to flash to our minds in the terms of in the speed of light. Do you know which is faster? Is it light or sound? Light is much faster than sound. Now, if I ask you, tell me your mother face, it'll be no, just think of your mother's face. Think of your sister's face. It'll flash in terms of milliseconds, isn't it? That is the fastness your brain is having. Then, if that is the case, if I just ask you on these words, the meanings should be flashing in terms of milliseconds, and that is what the speed that we need to go with. So here, for that, when we start using the strategies and we work only with the words, only with certain kind of formulas, we'll make them much faster, and then we'll bring everything together and start using that in our textbooks, or when we are solving something, or when we are writing some equations or some long answers and something like that. Right? It is like this. Now, when you're preparing pulao, you'll make sure you'll have all the vegetables together with you. You'll be cutting all the vegetables. You will be keeping them aside, and then you will be cooking so that your dish will be delicious. Isn't it? Otherwise, what might happen? Otherwise, probably rice is more, or water is more, or salt and no, chili contents are less, or something like that might happen. So it's the same way. We are getting set with such kind of words, and then we'll get set with such kind of other, so prefixes, postfixes, and something like that. And then we'll get to our textbook so that they'll be damn easy for us. Right? So, having said this, I'm talking about aerobic and anaerobic. We would have heard of aerobic exercises, something where they're done with air. Anaerobic exercises also. If you understand in gym, they don't worry much on air, right? They don't worry much on breathing. But if the same thing goes with yoga, yoga is always goes going with breathing. So that is called aerobic exercise. And the one which doesn't care, which mainly focuses on reducing the weight and making your muscles fit and tight, they're anaerobic exercises. And next, we have another set which is quite famous: asexual and sexual reproduction. What is this sexual and asexual? Sexual reproduction with the combination of male and female gametes. Asexual, maybe through plants we can say. They are with the same sex. Amoeba, paramecium, but they don't have a different sex. They have the same sex, and that kind of reproduction, reproducing another offspring, is asexual reproduction. Right, my dear friends, this list will go on. Right, so I request you guys to take down this list, write it in your mind map book, and we'll be seeing that, we'll be referring to these lists every day in our classes, right? So if you're not able to scroll through the lists, what do you do? Go back to the video again, just see how much is the content, again put down, or write down, copy down everything in your mind map books, and come back to the classes. Thank you.